The American Civil War, 1861 to 1865. The American Civil War was one of the most defining moments in United States history. Fought from 1861 to 1865, it reshaped the nation forever. The war pitted brother against brother and redefined the meaning of freedom and democracy. Today we'll look at some of the key events and figures of this turbulent time. Before we start, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an epic story. As the United States expanded westward in the early 1800s, the question of slavery in new territories became a point of contention between the northern and southern states. The Missouri Compromise of 1820 temporarily eased tensions by establishing a line across the Louisiana Purchase, prohibiting slavery north of that line and allowing it south of it. However, this compromise only delayed the inevitable. By the 1850s, the debate over slavery had reached a fever pitch. In 1854, the Kansas-Nebraska Act proposed the extension of slavery into these territories, leading to violent clashes between pro-slavery and anti-slavery settlers. This period, known as Bleeding Kansas, foreshadowed the coming storm. In 1857, the Supreme Court ruled in the Dred Scott case that slaves were not citizens and could not sue in federal court. This decision outraged the North and further inflamed the sectional crisis. Then came the election of 1860, when Republican candidate Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the expansion of slavery, won. Southerners saw this as a threat to their way of life. On December 1860, South Carolina became the first state to secede from the Union. By February 1861, 6 more states had joined it, forming the Confederate States of America with Jefferson Davis as its president. As the secession crisis unfolded, a group of pro-slavery advocates in the border states of Maryland, Virginia, and Kentucky also sought to leave the Union. However, they faced stiff resistance from the United States Army, which was still loyal to the federal government. The Greenbrier and New River Company, a private security firm hired by the Confederacy to transport weapons to the seceding states, attempted to seize the arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia, but failed due to the intervention of U.S. Army Colonel Robert E. Lee. Meanwhile, in April 1861, Confederate forces attacked Fort Sumter in South Carolina, marking the official start of the Civil War. As the war began, President Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to put down the rebellion. Early Union victories included the capture of New Orleans and the Battle of Antietam, the single bloodiest day in American history. But the war was far from over. In 1863, the tide turned with the Battle of Gettysburg. After 3 days of intense fighting, Confederate General Robert E. Lee's army was defeated, marking a turning point in the war. Later that year, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared all slaves in Confederate territory to be free. This reframed the war as one to end slavery, making it a moral crusade for the Union. The Union also gained a crucial ally in 1863, when the British and French, who had previously been neutral, decided not to intervene in the conflict. This decision was influenced by the U.S. victory at sea, the Battle of the Ironclads, where the Monitor and the Merrimac fought to a draw, showcasing the Union's naval strength. After Gettysburg, Lee's army retreated to Virginia, where they were pursued by Union General William T. Sherman's army. Sherman's troops captured Atlanta in 1864, dealing a major blow to the Confederacy. They then marched through Georgia in what became known as Sherman's March to the Sea, destroying Confederate infrastructure and supplies as they went. With the war nearly over, President Lincoln was assassinated by Confederate sympathizer John Wilkes Booth in 1865. In April 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at Appomattox Courthouse, effectively ending the Civil War. The Civil War had a profound impact on the United States. It led to the abolition of slavery and the expansion of federal power. The war also resulted in the deaths of an estimated 620,000 soldiers and left the nation divided over issues of race and Reconstruction. Despite its tragic cost, the Civil War ultimately preserved the Union and strengthened the United States as a global power. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.